We're here at the International Communications Association Conference with Associate Professor Dennis Day of the University of Southern Denmark, talking about ethnomethodology and studies of work and some of the work that he's doing at the moment. So Dennis, if you could just briefly describe what your current research project is in a sort of...
Well, there are several projects. First of all, though, we work in a group, so we're a group of people who are doing these various projects. One very important sort of set of projects carried out at my place right now has to do with people with severe communicative handicap, so children in particular, but also adults who have who are aphatic adults.
Yeah.
That's a big area for us now, looking at children with multi-handicaps and how they manage communication together with their caretakers or with their family members, and in particular with their speech pathologists. We train speech pathologists at our department. At least we trained them in the sort of in CA basically, right? So that's very important. Also, this thing about text, which I talked about today, is a sort of a series of studies. We're working together with industrial designers, looking at how design can utilize the study of interaction, quite simply. The one big case in point at the moment is hearing aids, which is clearly relevant and clearly related to studies of interaction. But even the design of things such as backhoe diggers, all kinds of different design objects of design were involved in sort of giving an interactional perspective on thinking about how this product should be designed.
So how do you get the data for that?
Yeah, for backhoe diggers are really, really interesting, right?
Yeah.
The designers, traditionally this is heavy industry, right? It's heavy industrial design, and it's strictly based engineering for the most part. But when we came into it, we started thinking about, well, what is it about operating a backhoe, and where is interaction and communication? Now, clearly, for example, there's interaction between the machine and the person, and if you understand the skilled practices of a backhoe operator, he or she, mostly a he, in a sense, feels it's sort of a skill of getting feedback from his machine on the weight of objects that it picks up, it scoops up, things like that. So that was one bit of interaction, and we actually looked at that interaction between the operating of the machine and the sensations the machine gives, so to speak, to the operator.
Yeah.
But then also, if you look at a backhoe operator when he's doing his work, he's in a social setting because there are other people on the work site, and it's very important for safety that there is a communication between them, right? And they do. And of course, there's more to say. There's a lot. There is a sort of a sign language that they use, which in fact is standardized to communicate with a crane operator or a backhoe operator. But just this sort of awareness of the social setting is crucial for a backhoe operator to be aware of where people are in relation to his machine and where his machine can move, and so forth and so on.
And so how does that feed into the design aspects?
Yeah, the idea, the designers do what's called participatory design. So where the user of the end product is extremely important, of course, but also other stakeholders. And we understand stakeholders in our sort of more micro sense as, for example, with backhoes, the people on the work site. Yeah. They are clearly stakeholders in the operation of this machine.
Yeah.
So what can be built into this machine that can assist the operator in his interaction with the machine and with the social setting of his practice? So it comes in and they're interested. They think it's kind of a different angle on the design process, on sort of figuring out what are the affordances of these products, basically.
Yeah.
Hearing aids is the easy case. That's obvious. Hearing aid is about communication, people being able to interact with others.
Yeah.
Right? But traditionally in design, and if you look at how it's designed at present, it's designed as a something to increase the amplitude of sound frequencies, or of sound, excuse me. It's just that, it's like the physics. So the current designs of hearing aids are really just based on the physics of hearing. But hearing is a much, phenomenologically, a much bigger thing.
Yeah.
So one of the first questions we had with the hearing aid people was, we told them there's a difference between, how do you know when someone can't hear or they're not listening? And they were quite upset about this, and we never thought about that. So that kind of questioning, I think, they think is system in their design process.
Okay. So coming back to the autism research,
yeah.
With the working with the autistic children.
Yeah, not only autistic, but other multifunctional handicap. They can be autistic or Down syndrome, or often a multitude of various dysfunctions, if you like.
Okay. The research that you do there, what kind of outcomes do you come with?
Yeah. Well, we work actually very closely with speech pathologists, both who work both clinically, but also in interventions. Family intervention is a big thing now in this sort of area, where because many speech pathologists are taking degrees in at least linguistics, but even in focusing on interaction studies. We have the great work of Charles Goodwin, of course, and Wilkinson, Doug Maynard, and so forth, sort of leading the way into this, trying to look at the issues these people have from an interactional perspective, because that just hasn't been done before. It's been very linguistic. It's been very much based on what sorts of sentences can this person construct, and what kinds of sentences can this person understand. So it's giving this interactional perspective on the issue. And the issue is how to enable communication between these people and their environment. And I think our big issue there at the moment is actually a little bit of a critique of a lot of CA to some extent, to a little extent, and that it's fairly logocentric. Now, of course, this is historically technological reasons. I mean, the tape recorder came out first, and now we all have video cameras, and how do we deal with the multimodalities of our data?
Yeah.
And with these children, it's particularly important not to be logocentric, because a lot of the cases we look at are children who do not speak at all.
Right.
Rather, they're pointing at bliss symbols, which is an orthography created for these children. It's sort of like an ideographic orthography. So moving away from words and language, so to speak, and understanding interaction, communicative interaction without words, if you like. And that's sort of is a nice test case to encourage us to look beyond spoken language in our studies of interaction.